Showtime, y'all. What's going on, everybody? Beautiful Wednesday afternoon in the desert. And it's your boy, The Voice, coming to you for the recap. 4 p.m. on a Wednesday. I've been slacking, trying to get back on task. Some weeks I don't get on till Thursday. Some weeks I still get on Wednesday, but it might not be till 5 o'clock. I'm back to my normal stomping grounds Wednesdays at 4. Though some weeks are definitely going to be tougher than the others. Didn't need to bug too many coaches this week in my effort to get on the air, but I'm here and happy to be with you to talk Arizona slow pitch softball. We got a big one this weekend, the beginning of arguably my favorite 2 weeks of the year, the GSL State Championships, a little different from the USSSA State Championships in the sense that each team has what is called a designated home run hitter. They can hit bombs throughout. So we'll talk a little more about that. What teams are going to be at an advantage because of that? It's definitely going to be very, very telling in that D division. We'll take a look at the rosters for contending teams. We'll also look at the C division. Can sick, not weak, do it again? I can't imagine anyone looking past them as the favorites, one of the top programs as it relates to rank in the country for the work that they have put in. So we will take a look at the sick, not weak squad that will be taking the field this weekend. Of course, the rosters lock on Friday at approximately noon. There tends to be a little flexibility at times based on emails that get sent into the boss, but this is a state championship tournament, so be ready to do the damn thing and do it in advance because Bob and the rest of the crew got a lot to do going into the weekend. They don't want to be worrying about putting people on rosters late in the Friday night. Let the man get his rest. Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be a show out there at Cactus Yards. A couple notes stressed last week from the boss man himself. Teams need to sign up for the world events before they sell out. GSL Worlds will sell out quick. So if your team has not already earned the berth or if you have not already gotten your team set up, please do so. Once it sells out, there's no way into that thing. You can sign up and pay later online for both the USSSA and GSL Vegas World events. Also, a reminder, as many of you already know, this is the season to play up and stay up. There's not as much wiggle room to get things changed if you decide to play up for whatever reason and the computer changes your rating. You are stuck at such position. That comes into play in a lot of different phases, including and especially in the upper division, as some big news coming out of the men's B division here this past week, directly involving me and some people that I know, not so much me as I was just a coach, but the MAJ DTS squad, no more. That team has disbanded. I got a few messages about that, and obviously there's been a couple posts. Corey put a little something out there. I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, if I'm being honest. There's just a lot of, I think, inconsistency in communication. And there was some unfortunate stuff involving sponsors that was kind of BS, but I think that happens sometimes with sponsorships these days. What I will say, it was not DTS related, so keep buying quality products from Chad, Gatto, and the rest of the crew over at DTS, and I'll leave it at that as it relates to sponsors. But I think there's a lot of great ball players on that team. Runner-up at U-Trip States a couple weeks ago. Very unfortunate that the team decided not to take the route of playing GSL States. especially having been one of the top, if not the top performing B team in the limited amount of action that those upper divisions get to have. Very, very disappointing to see it. But if there's not real commitment and you know, you can say what you want about a lot of things, but the upper, having gone to coach at that level, I saw a lot that truly surprised me and not for the positive, as it compares to the lower divisions. I think there's heart in most individual ball players, but I think there's a lot more me than we, and it was disappointing. But to each their own with that. I wish everybody the best of luck, regardless of where they end up. But it just didn't work the way that Cholo and Henry thought that it might. But they have been very, very successful with what they have done as managers, coaches. So I know that they'll land with a plan for 2026 and they'll execute it well. I just want to say thank you to Cholo for the opportunity, and trusting what I do as far as being a voice and coaching bases and trying to be a positive influence. But I think more than anything, where I belong is here with the younger generation and the up and comers. I like lending my voice around here. I've had success around here, and I love what I get to do. And with that in mind, I'm looking forward to this weekend, y'all, because if you haven't been able to tell by some of the decor around me, I'm feeling a little nostalgic. A couple years ago, I was helping coach with a young up and coming crew called the Tropics, and they had won, I believe, 2 or 3 tournaments on the year, and I jumped on with them to have some fun and help my man Craig Reynolds out because he was a coach pitcher and wanted to put a little more of his focus on what was happening on the field. So I came to help provide a voice for those young dudes, and they responded greatly. The end result, we ended up winning a state championship. And this weekend, I'm going to try to do it again. Got to talking with some of the guys this past weekend when I made the trip out to Prescott. Had a really, really good time. That was besides what was going on in my dugout, that was a fun tournament and a hell of a job done by the Tropics family putting that tournament on. And I think there's really, really good things coming to the Prescott area. If Mikey and his crew continue to want to run tournaments, I'll make that drive out there and help any way that I can. This weekend, though, they're making the drive out this way, and I'm going to help them the same way I tried a couple years ago. I returned to the Tropics in the coaching box, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. Very, very talented team. And I think me and Craig both coming back home, so to say, to help those young boys out is going to be hell of good time. My son is looking forward to it. He loves him some Chaz and Dylan Elgin and those boys. They've taken a real liking to my son, and we are happy to be back with the Tropics family. So looking forward to this weekend and Worlds. I'm still trying to be on the mic. I know that's not going to be loved as a whole by the boss, but we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. But I'm gonna try to do both. I'm gonna commentate when my guys aren't playing, and when my guys are playing, I'll be live streaming them games because we got plans on going deep in this tournament. So there will still be live coverage this weekend. But if you are a fan of the Tropics, you'll probably see more of that. The Chino Tropics. I'm very, very excited to return home with those guys. I just got to ask Skylar Brooks if I can get my number 13 back. But if not, then I already got another number that I'm going to put on the back of a jersey. So Yeah, that and more coming up here in the show. Let's get into it. We'll start with the sponsors. First and foremost, my people over at the Collins Law Firm. I believe Ernie just celebrated a birthday, so shout out to my big brother there. If you're in need of any legal advice, and I might be here real soon, give them a call. Accidents, contracts, injuries, business law, insurance, landlord, or tenant. This is the one-stop shop for all things legal here in Arizona. 480-534-3787. Proud sponsor of the Arizona Mixed C Challenge Cup team, the Arizona BSC Challenge Cup team, the SOBs, fresh in the women's conference, and the 2024 Mixed C World Champion. Built different. Shout out to my man Justin Newhart out there on the East Coast. He moved out to Virginia. Comes back and forth when he can. Definitely miss my boy. I know Amy is getting ready to make that trip. I pray for everything great with you guys with the building of the house and everything. Definitely miss you guys out here in a full-time capacity, but life is what you make it no matter where you go. So I know those two are going to be just fine out there on the East Coast. Rogue Auto Glass for innovative technology, experienced technicians, quality products, simple process, mobility, and the best word of all, that guarantee. Head on over to azrogueautoglass.com to see about an insurance quote or a cash quote. Now, their expertise expands beyond just your windows. Along with auto glass replacement and repairs, they handle chip repairs, ADAS calibration, window tinting, and mobile detailing. So drive away with confidence. Let Heather know that your boy Dre sent you. Rogue Auto Glass, 480-815-7400.
Go, 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 go!
Tired of leaks, low pressures, or rusty water?
Go!
It's time to repipe your home.
Go!
Fast Lane Plumbing gets it done right. Fast, clean, and built to last. Call today and protect your home from inside out.
They're making commercials, y'all. I'm starting to see more of the local businesses doing their commercials. I like it. Happy to advertise. Shout out to my man David Lane and the crew over at Fast Lane Plumbing. The results have been pretty damn good. Couple years into this thing, and they're living up to the name. Fast and reliable plumbing services from Queen Creek to Surprise. Your plumbing needs will be in good hands with their trusted, licensed, and insurance team, combining exceptional customer service, expert consultation, and inquiries on the road to getting the job done right the very first time. Head on over to flplumbingaz.com to check out the 5-star reviews, and while you're there, request a quote. If you have additional questions, give them a call at 480-292-6110 for Fast Lane Plumbing. Drip, there's more than just the drip that is dominating on the field. There's a drip that's doing the damn thing off the field as well, offering all things sublimation, including shorts, hoodies, polos, and now batting gloves. They also provide embroidered hats, with their number one priority being to partner with their customers to make sure that they get exactly what they want at a great price without the hassle or unnecessary delays. 10 is the minimum number for the initial order, no minimum for add-ons, and no art fees. Though a deposit is collected to cover the artwork, it is credited toward the final invoice. Drip is doing some great things. They definitely outfitted my Challenge Cup squad last year, and my hope, once the announcement is made, is that they'll do it again this year. Jersey starting at $25, full set $55, 2 full sets for $100. Head on over to www.dripsportsapparel.com. Let them know that Dre sent you. DSA, proud sponsor of Lady Strive and the Men's D State Champion, Chosen Iron. Will they add to their state championship collection this weekend? We will find out. Wanted to give a special news shout out to My man Edgar and the crew over at Mr. Ed's Fine Jewels, new local business that is doing really, really good things. And I wanted to help get the name out a little bit. They buy gold, 10K, 14K, 18K. They pay top dollar for your new or used gold, and they sell 100% authentic jewelry. Trades are welcome as well. So Edgar be doing some great things with all his different raffles here on Facebook. Now the family empire expands into jewelry. So call or text to set up an appointment. Hit him up at 623-628-6895. Of course, they speak Espanol. He's got some cool hoodies and apparel. I can't wait to get my red short sleeve thing that Vince Bivens was wearing. They already took a team out to Flagstaff, so he's already getting his hand in the sponsorship pool here in the softball world. Great dude. Happy for the success of him and his family. Hope that it continues through Mr. Ed's Fine Jewels. We got a YouTube page, y'all. It took me a while because I'm not gonna lie, it was hard. It was very complicated on YouTube. I did not exactly know what I was doing, but I looked up a couple videos on some things. My man Rad helped me with a couple things as well. Roundtable Softball has extended to YouTube. Biggest reason being, if my Facebook get hacked, like it just did a couple months ago, I lost everything that I've done over the last 5 years, and honestly, it damn near made me want to cry. All the great moments that we captured live, whether it be via the show, whether it be during games, it's all gone. Facebook is a joke. I to this day, I don't know why my account got deleted, but the more I think about it, the more upset I get. For the sole reason, I can add friends all over again. That's not the thing. But again, when you put 5 years of your life into trying to build something, and it's all gone now. No, Caesar, I would never delete you, brother. I'm not sure if I refriended you, because then it kept, when I was trying to add people, it would say that I was doing too many per day and it wouldn't let me do it. So Facebook is a crock shit. I miss what was the other one with the top 8? I'm drawing a blank right now. Tom, whatever it was. That thing was way better. It's crazy how easily Facebook accounts can be hacked. I think my man Barella said same thing happened to him, and it's just like, you kind of feel helpless, because even when you verify your identity, they won't give you a damn thing back. So yeah, all the videos, I know MySpace, thank you. All the things that I've done when Hype won Worlds, when Built Different won Worlds, gone. Like, if anyone knows anyone that works for Facebook, please let me know. If there is any way that I can retrieve anything, I would love to do it. But yeah. Anyway, this is a way to keep that from happening. The show I'm going to upload on the YouTube when we're done here tonight. All the games that will be live streamed this weekend will be uploaded to YouTube the next way, just as a way to have it where we don't lose our content over the next 5 years, because I know there's going to be some big moments happening this weekend. And, I definitely don't want to lose that. So I appreciate the first 19 subscribers that we have on there. But I know with more content, we're going to get more views and all of that. And Arizona softball as a whole will be captured. Roundtable Softball. There you see the YouTube address. Come find me. I think I put a post up the other day where there was a direct link as well. So come subscribe to the page and be able to check out any of the content that we put on this week and this weekend anytime you want. You can still look at it on Facebook, but Facebook videos are only on there for, I think they said now 90 days, and then they delete it. So at least once it's uploaded to Facebook, or excuse me, to YouTube, we won't have to worry about that. We'll be able to track our content moving forward. I missed this last week, and I felt bad about it because I used to cover our conference players a lot more. I have not heard as much, but I want to give a special shout out to the SD Lighting conference team, who for the second time in their last 3 tournaments finished in second place. So they are starting to play some good ball with Worlds right around the corner. Shout out to Sierra Marquez. She was the offensive most valuable player of the tournament in Colorado here within the last couple of weeks. There you see a few other names that were selected to the all-tournament team, but one of my favorites over the years, I gave her some props last week while she was on the show, and I probably should have been giving her more for what she's doing on the field. A great ambassador in the Arizona women's game is Vanessa Owsley. Comes on the show love to the younger women coming up in our program. And she remains one of the top dogs out there, especially with her glove. So good. So shout out to Vanessa. Shout out to my boy Travis Johnson leading the way, and the rest of that squad on all the success. Drenny, Sky, Brittany's back out there playing, of course, Tall Boy with them as well. They got a nice little squad doing some things, and we'll be keeping an eye on the SD Empire as they get closer to state or to Worlds. Shout out to SD Lighting, Be Happy, Cheap Suits, Proton, and everyone else who has had a hand on helping these ladies hit the road and continue at a high level this year. Not just all Arizona, but we're claiming y'all. That's an Arizona team. Shout out to SD and their continued success. All right, what's coming up? D&E Worlds, we talked about it earlier this year, August 22nd through the 24th. Games start on Friday at 8 a.m. So I'll be there. Looking forward to getting out there. As I like to say every year, I know everybody wants to get out there. It's Vegas. You want to have a good time, run around, get into a bunch of trouble. I always try to encourage everyone to support each other on that first day. I know you got a whole bunch of stuff going on, but if you can make time to hang out at the complex, I'll be bouncing around. There'll be a lot of people bouncing around the field, supporting Arizona softball. You're probably only going to play one game that day. Again, those Cali teams, those Nevada teams, they pack the bleachers, making a lot of noise. We're probably not going to be playing against each other on day one, Arizona versus Arizona. Hopefully not. So let's get out there. Let's make some noise. Let's support everybody that supports you throughout the year. First day of Worlds is going to be a good time. August 22nd. And then who knows? Somebody might make a deep run into the 23rd and into the 24th and take down an Amish team or two along the way. Worlds right around the corner. It's going to be live. And then October, not too long after that, the rest of the graphic doesn't appear for me, but the GSL World Series is coming in the month of October. Again, there's more that should be showing up on the screen, but it did not. We'll talk more about that. But like I said at the top, get with Bob, or Bob suggests that you get your team signed up soon, because these events will sell out. So don't miss out on your opportunity to perform at the GSL World Series here in the month of October. Let's try to make the Valley Boys proud. Last year, they brought home a Worlds title in this very tournament. This year, we haven't been seeing a lot of the Valley Boys, though, and I don't think we're going to see them on the bracket when we talk about it here in a few minutes, which is, I don't know what the hell is going on, but shout out to my man Lloyd Burchett and his lovely wife, and their now 1-month-old son, Easton. Uncle Dre can't wait to meet him, but you know, I've missed a lot because, you know, obviously everybody has their own thing going on, but I definitely saw some pictures. Corinne put a post up. So again, congratulations, Lloyd, Corinne. Can't wait to see the baby hopefully soon. I miss seeing you out there with the Valley Boys, but I know when the time is right, I'll be seeing you in a BSC uniform here in the near future, along with, I see my man Von Hugo Washington. He'll be hopefully in my dugout as well. What a year that young man has had. We'll talk a little more about him. Shout out to Alyssa Carpio. I just saw her pop up on the screen saying that she's watching. She is now Alyssa Carpio Givens. Congratulations on the wedding. The pictures looked amazing. Your husband got himself a good one for sure. So congratulations to you both. Thanks for taking time out of, I believe, your honeymoon to watch the show. I hope y'all are enjoying yourselves, no doubt. All right, what else we got here? So we already talked a little bit about it this weekend, the GSL State Championship, Men's C and Men's D. We will look at the bracket and some rosters here in a little bit. Next weekend, we got GSL State's running it back with the Men's BC, or what's left of it. The Men's E, which was a blast a couple weeks ago at UTRIP, and the Women's divisions. We'll try to get a little more live. We will definitely be getting more live coverage for that one, with the fact that MAJ has disbanded. I will not be coaching that weekend. I will be flat out doing my thing on the mic. So for those divisions that did not get their shine at UTRIP States, I'm going to definitely be covering y'all. Can't wait to see the Women's D. That has been a joy this year, and we'll catch them live. And of course, Sick Not Week looking to continue their dominance over the Women's BC. We'll talk about some things here in a little bit. It is a nice shirt, Craig. You know what I mean? Yeah, looking forward to rocking it this weekend back out there. You might be wearing something similar. Can't wait to see my man Craig and the rest of the Tropic family. What's up, J-Rod? Showing some love to somebody. Oh, V. Yeah, Von. Man, I've become such a fan of that dude, and got to play against him this weekend. The ball just explodes off his bat. Hard line shots that stay up and get over the fence. Bright future, no doubt. Jeff Bryant, what's going on, brother? I ain't seen you in a minute since we rocked that one weekend. The old men killing it out there. All right. The image looks broken up here. For this was supposed to be the slide for co-ed. Apologies, Jason. I'm not sure what's going on with the slide there. I just made that one up today. But there is a co-ed states in a couple weeks. And then the other one was for co-ed worlds. You have to play states to be eligible for worlds. Hopefully the pictures will show up next week. My apologies. Hopefully it doesn't do that to all my slides. Okay, this one is fine. Look ahead. Here in the the look ahead for the UTRIP events. We got states, and then we've got the co-ed state, which is an all-nighter. Whether it gets cool. Haven't been a lot of teams signing up, Jason said. So if you're looking to get your team set up for the co-ed state championship, that is coming up August 16th through the 17th. Try to get that done sooner than later, and then secure the bag event later on in the month as well. All right. Challenge Cup is already starting to put some coaching staffs together. So we'll take an opportunity to give a shout out to Ben Ochoa and Daniel Munez in the Men's E. Both of those guys have had great years with their squads, winning multi-tournaments. Congratulations to them. The Women's D, Rad Radke, Cassie Rossing, and Tyler Hansen. Congratulations to them. I imagine Cassie is going to be vocally killing it and then taking the field and killing it some more. Rad and Tyler, the success that they've had in the dugout as well. I know they're going to put a good team together, and tough shoes to fill, as the Women's D won the Challenge Cup last year. run it back, y'all. Do the damn thing. We'll be keeping an eye on things. The women's 40s is back. We did not send any women's 40s teams, any women's senior team at all last year to the Challenge Cup. So shout out to Sasha Wilson as she gets tapped to lead this year. The mixed D, Jill Friedman and Jorge Jimenez. Congratulations to both of them. The women's C will be ran by Victor Soto and Edgar Chacon, killing it with Sick Not Weak. Women's 50 rec, Carrie Fletcher. The women's 50 comp, the men's 50 comp, Ernie Olgan from the Blue Pill Mafia. The men's 40 comp led by My AZ Lawyers leader Dave Calvert. And the men's 40 rec will be led by Ryan Hawkins as he makes the trip for the second consecutive year. More will be announced in the days to come, and we'll update y'all on that next week on the show if you miss it. We already have a raffle, ticket raffle for the Diamondbacks versus the Red Sox, September the 6th, and it's 40 spots, $25 per entry. Get with Jill Friedman or Jorge Jimenez to get entered in to help with their mixed D Challenge Cup team. I promise you this will probably be the first of many. If there's been anything that I've been able to absorb is that Jill Friedman is a beast with this coaching thing. She's got her co-ed team cooking. We'll talk about them in a bit. She's just very, very organized. I hear so many great things about her attention to detail and everything with that team. So I think the mixed D is in very, very good hands. Jimenez will probably want to play as well because he's a hard-hitting ball player himself. But that's a good addition to that team. But I think Jill's definitely going to hold it down from that leadership perspective. Congratulations to both of them. Support this raffle. Let's get that taken care of. And I'm sure by next week we'll be advertising another one. I probably won't advertise for everyone because it's tough. I mean, if you send me your information and I see it, then I'll probably post it. But the respect that I have for Jill, that's somebody that I definitely root for, and I'm going to do what I can to help that team out. So be it. What else? Let's get into some results. So there was a tournament out in Prescott, a bombs away softball tournament. I didn't see much hype about it until a couple of days beforehand when my team was going. But this was an event to help with the Tropics softball program. And it turned out to be a pretty damn good show. Went out there, not exactly sure what to expect. I heard about how many teams there was going to be. There was an uppers and a lowers. They did good. That was a lot of the who's who of upper softball players made that trip out there for this tournament. There was some very, very competitive teams. I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this because it's not meant to be a slight. But that tournament that they had out there last weekend in the upper division was more competitive than the U-Trip BC State Championship tournament that we had here. There was just so much talent that went out there. I was very, very impressed for the Tropics boys in being able to advertise enough to get that tournament going. And it was well ran. It was smooth. I'm going to talk about umpires a little bit in the show where I might get myself in trouble. In that same regard, the umpiring was not great. Ashley Russell will be the first one to get on my case about it. We had some good laughs during a game out there about the umpiring, but they did the best that they could with players. And there's been some talk that there's going to be more tournaments that take place out that way. And why not? The weather is great out there. I mean, it was still kind of hot, but it got to the point where you could feel that breeze pretty good. So I think some weekends, if a division isn't playing locally, and they have one out there, you're going to get some relief as it relates to the temperatures. And in that same respect, it was very, very well ran. The games were starting on time. There wasn't drama. I mean, I think drama comes with the territory at times, but it just was a really, really good tournament. Um, and my team was eliminated very quickly, but got to hang out because the kid was running around having a good time. The championship game, the team out of the losers bracket was up by like 12 runs early. But this squad came back and actually walked it off. I don't even know what the team names were, to be completely honest. There was like a Tropics 1, Tropics 2, MAJ. There are some teams out there. I believe this was one of the Tropics teams. Congratulations to them on winning the tournament. CJ Shepard, high-level ball player, he made the trip out there, batted 8-12 with 12 home runs. Great play up the middle. If you know CJ, you know he holds it down. Had a couple laughs with him during the course of the day as well. I usually don't get to see CJ smiling too much, but we had a mutual joke laugh about something, so it was good to see him out there enjoying himself. Mikey Paulus, 800 with 10 home runs, getting himself loose to put on a show this weekend. Calvin Shea, they call him Carl, 789, 6 home runs. A lot of people forget Calvin Shea was an original part of that Standard Plumbing crew a few years back that was very, very dominant. He ended up leaving and started doing his own thing in other areas, but his game is coming up very, very nicely. So another good tournament for him. I was happy to see my man Cody Burns put up a good number, 750, 3 home runs. He's a strong kid that doesn't have a ton of bat control. Got to talk to him. He's been working on that a good deal, trying to go to the back side. I was happy to see him get the walk-off base hit, which damn near was a Judy. So for a kid that has a hard time keeping the ball in the ballpark, shout out to my man Cody Burns with an opportunity to walk it off, and he just got it past the outstretched glove of the shortstop to win the ball game. Congratulations to him and to the rest of the crew. That was a fun ball game to watch, and a lot of people stuck around after they were eliminated. All in all, Prescott's got a chance to do something if they decide to do it. Is the problem could come with the fact that the people that might get tasked with running tournaments out there might be coming into town for tournaments. So it's just going to be real interesting how that dynamic plays out as far as scheduling and what happens with their team tournaments and stuff like that. But, the fields weren't terrible. There are some wet patches out there, as is the case anywhere where there's rain, but we enjoyed ourselves out there this weekend. So hats off to those guys and to the Prescott community for hosting us this past weekend. Food truck had some decent food as well. They did some good things, but congratulations to that squad right there. Not the best picture. Mikey, do better with the camera. But it was a fun tournament, and we look forward to making that trip back out there again. Local event, GSL Moonlight Mixer, and a familiar face at the end. Drip wins the title, and there's a big drip right in someone's face, and I apologize for that. But hey, that's y'all good-looking new logo that Ben sent over to me, and they are now a 7-time champion, and they go 5-1 on the event. 17.83 runs scored per game while allowing just 10.67. Keaton Hassel, the MVP of the U-Trip State Championship tournament, continuing his hot run here this summer, 833 to lead the way. Quick math, 5 out of every 6. Keaton was on base. Brent Harris, 761, another big number for him. The defensive MVP, Alex Lopiccolo, 727. And Wyatt Brown, 695 to round out the leaders. I don't know how many of their 7 championships they've done this, but they got pushed to an if game. And they won the if game, but I think they've won the if game 4 or 5 times this year. 20-2 was the final score against Payback in the if game. Yeah, teams can beat them. You just can't beat them twice in a row. Drip, same script as the U-Trip States, lost game 1 of the shit, routed through game 2, and they have moved into a tie with Women's D Division TGF with 7 championships on the year, the most in the state of Arizona. They have won 4 consecutive tournaments, and they look to make it 5 in a row next weekend. The GSL Men's E State Championship Tournament. Shout out to Drip, continuing to do their thing. We're kind of condensed on the results because we got the preview, and then there's the rest of the champions that popped up. Let's move on to the Women's BC. ATO lost their first game of the tournament, ran off 7 in a row. That's going to be significant here in a couple of minutes, and I know there's going to be some conflicting, 7 straight wins to win a tournament, including double dipping one of the best teams in the state in the women's game. They score 18.88 runs per game. They allowed 8.38 plus 10 overall. Heather Buckley, I talked about it last week, one of the most underrated women in Arizona softball, and I don't understand why. But 869. Real good stuff, as always, from Buck. Mackenzie Federico, another very, very talented ball player. Again, we haven't seen as much of the upper division, so I think that plays into the underrated factor. But I love Mac's game, always have, 793. Xavi Maestas is back, 778. Danielle Stevens never left, all that pop. And a high clip, 740. And Autumn Frosto, I told her earlier today, any team that she's on has an opportunity to play for a championship because of her bat and leadership. 724 for her. Solid stuff. HO has won 2 consecutive tournaments. They won SummerSlam before I started coming back on the air, so I did not get to recap them getting that done. But now they have won the overnighter that had some good teams in it, and good for them. After losing game 1, they rally back to double dip TGF 22-11 and 7-0. And we tend to know what that 7-0 means. I didn't get a lot of information on it, but someone told me Sunday morning they didn't think there was a forfeit in the ship. But 7-0 usually means that TGF's not getting shut out. So I don't know what happened, but congratulations, ATO, on their 2nd title. And then on Sunday, there was the mixed D division. This picture is not the picture from this past weekend. We'll get to that here momentarily. But the Bandits, for back-to-back weeks, are your mixed D champion. They go 4-0. Scoring 16.5 runs per game while allowing just 5.25. Shout out the big worm, Alex Pena, with the perfection on the weekend. He batted 1,000, and one of those I gave to him. I know Alex being a power-hitting lefty. I was playing shortstop. I played up the middle, if not on the pool side, because we didn't have a 5-man. We were on a huge field, and it was co-ed. And Alex slapped one right into the 6. Talked a little trash while he sprinted up the line. But he was fast enough because no one was able to get him out all day. So congratulations to him. Shava batted 900 with a home run. If you haven't seen this kid play defense, he's very, very solid ball player, up-and-comer as well. Tilly, 889 with 4 home runs. He connected for a massive grand slam against my team in the 8 a.m. game on field 4. and he continued to deliver the goods throughout that tournament. His powers is coming into its own. Missing from this list is my man Vaughn Washington, though he still had a good day. 700 with 4 home runs as the DHH. Sometimes as the DHH, you go for it every time, so it might kill your OBP a little bit, but he's still stinging the ball around the field for them. Bubba batted 800 also for the men. Rhea Ripley Murphy, 857 for Rhea. Amaya Dasty, 818. Jess Mercado, 778. Look, I haven't seen a ton of co-ed this year. Respectfully so, co-ed has not jumped off the page. We're starting to see a few more teams show up. I think they're starting to get ready for the end of the year crunch with states right around the corner and all of that, which is good. Being able to see this team in more than one game and playing against them, I'm telling y'all, I would not be surprised if they made a run to the state championship. I was even talking to them. I'm surprised that they weren't one of the top 2, though I know the bangers are always a problem. This team could absolutely hit the ball. Very, very impressed by the way that they hit. Their ladies hit the ball well. Their men were patient in the box. They've got some pop. Now, if States is just U-Trip based, and I believe it is instead of GSL, that could hurt because then you take the DHH title away from a guy like Vaughn or even Tilly for that matter, and now you're back to just hitting 3 home runs as a team per game. I don't know if that's been their kryptonite before. Powerful team, we'll find out, but they can absolutely rake. And as you can see, at 5 runs allowed per game, their defense does quite well. I enjoyed watching Rhea go to the opposite field. You know, they've got good back control. Their ladies definitely hold their own. So I've hyped up what Coach Friedman can do, and this is the proof in the pudding. Her squad, very, very good at the right time of the year. Looking forward to seeing more from them, and we'll talk about them. We'll talk about them now because I put the picture up, and I don't think I put it on a separate slide. There has been some like I found out that the championship game. Let me just switch this up. 4th title of the year, by the way, for the Bandits. Congratulations on that. But the 4th title came without a matchup in the ship. They took on or were set to take on Stroke It, a good team in itself. I was very, very surprised that there was no championship game. Come to find out, they decided not to play the game because of the heat. We've seen this situation before, and it is not usually received well by the public. I'm not going to be a hypocrite because I have definitely been one of the people. Play the game. Like, if we're playing the tournament, play the game. There's no reason not to play. I've seen sometimes where it's been a little understandable. Actually, I can't even say that because I would say, oh, well, they got to an if game and they decided not to play. Play the game. Like, you play tournaments to play for a championship, to have a championship game. Play the game. I don't care about what happened the night before. I don't care about gauntlet runs. Hell, the Bandits were coming off of a long break. They had absolutely no reason not to play that game. I'm playing that game. You have an opportunity to knock off one of the top teams in the state. What I will say about that Stroke It team, because I did see them, they were all right. They're nice. I think any team with Jacob Stein on it, you know, if you pitch to him, you might as well just grab the next ball. Like, this dude is basically playing on 1 foot, and he's hitting bomb after bomb after bomb. Kid is scary, scary talented. I just met him, and I already like him. I like his game. I think there's been some rumblings about attitude. You got to have a little bit of that, but you can't deny the way that dude hits the ball. Very, very talented. Got some good players on that team. So why not play that game? You gotta play that game. You gotta play that game, in my opinion. Chaos finished in third. Killshot finished in fourth. Women's CD, ATO, the champion TGF, double dipped. Lady SOBs in third. Lady Strive in fourth. And then the men's E, Drip wins it. Payback. Second place, the SS Kings in third. Outcast is in fourth. Now, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I don't care. I've because I'm gonna do it respectfully. I think there has to be, and I don't want to put it on Jason. I don't want to just put it on Rodney, and I don't know who to put it on. There's got to be a more conscious effort with these umpires, because what I saw Sunday was awful. And it was awful in the sense of being obvious, and that's not good. And I haven't heard that that's a big reason behind co-ed not being as big as it used to be. Let's be honest. Co-ed is not what it used to be because of 2-day tournaments. This weekend being an example. If you have good guys that are on teams that are making it in Sunday, don't put your co-ed team in the tournament. That's what happens, because your co-ed team, if the tournament starts at 8 a.m., the co-ed team is not going to be at full strength when their guys are in the day 2 trying to win a state championship, and the ship isn't until like 2 o'clock. But we have umpires that are members of the same men's team as some of the guys that are playing in tournaments, and they're umpiring their games, and they're terrible, and it looks obvious. And again, I used to be ridiculously rough on umpires, and I got better at it. And I'm not being ridiculously rough on them today. What I saw at the co-ed tournament Sunday was rough. And I'm not going to mention specific names. He knows he was rough. And you can say that I'm saying that because it's sour grapes, because my team was directly impacted by it, and I will talk about it. If you've ever seen Rhino pitch from BCO, this dude throws strikes. This dude is a very, very solid pitcher. He throws strikes. He knows the strike zone. Good left. He throws strikes. And there was like 5 walks called on him where this dude might go a whole tournament and not walk 5 batters. And they were clearly bad calls. And then he was not getting the exact same call from an umpire who on the other team, a player from his men's team, was on. That shit's not cool. It's not cool. And, you know, I can accept losing. We lost to Jill's squad, the Bandits, because they were a better team. The team that beat us was not a better team. No disrespect to them. They were not a better team. They were given that game. They were given opportunities with bases loaded walks. And shout out to Jace Montgomery, because he came up 2 different times with the bases loaded and he hit 2 grand slams. That's 8 runs in a game where they scored 11 total. And both of those times, he probably shouldn't have batted in that inning. He was given opportunities to bat in that inning because of ridiculously bad calls. And then on our side, the exact same ones, if not worse, crossing like at hat brim were being called strikes. It was bad. And I think when we talk about guys like Dario or Carter per se, or, you know, some of these umps that don't exactly play, they're just umpires, and we get on their case. Look, I don't think that they're bad with an intention, because they don't really have a dog in the fight. But there are definitely umpires. I think before we go out there this weekend, or for the co-ed states in a couple weeks and stuff like that, I think we got to take that into a little bit more of an account. We got to be thankful for those type of umpires that, you know, if they're bad, or if they're having a bad day with stuff, this is just who they are. I clearly saw umpiring that clearly was biased, and it was dog shit. And you know, I'm not saying that's going to be, I'm not saying that is the full on, like, everyone. I don't think all the umpires are like that by any means, but I think the player umpires, it's tough to watch. And I think if they are calling a game where players that they play with, like their teammates, because friends are friends, the community for the most part is friends. You should not be allowed to call a game where one of your teammates is playing. Absolutely not. Time should immediately be called. There should be some sort of a switch. RJ Harris mentioned something on my post earlier that said something about, oh, yeah, they have done that before. That's got to be done in co-ed too, because that shit was terrible. And with respect to the teams that finished in the top four, one of them shouldn't have been there. One of them should have been eliminated. And, you know, I if I get in trouble for it, so be it. You know, I'm owning what I'm saying because I've played enough, I've coached enough, I've seen enough that those calls were bad. And in the game afterwards, a call at home plate, clear as day. The dude was under it. He's called out. Big logo on the shirt. Lets it be known that's one of your teammates, and that's dog shit. And you gotta be better. You gotta be better. You can't factor in friendships and teammates and all that when you're umpiring your game. That's your job. You are paid to do that job in that game, and you need to be better for the sake of those players. I commentate plenty of games with plenty of my friends, close friends, and if they're playing like ass, I'm gonna let them know about it. I've had a couple friends. Damn, you were tough on me, Bo. Yes, I was, because you sucked. Umpires got to be better than that. Sorry. My inbox later. I'm sure I'll get in trouble for it, but fair is fair to everybody. And I definitely feel the community, the co-ed community, deserved better than what we saw out there. I mean, there's people like, did he really call that a strike? And like, obviously bad stuff this weekend. Apologies to that umpire for putting you on blast. You sucked this weekend, and I hope that this message is received and you're better. Don't think about who's out there. Think about what you're doing, and I think the results will be better the next time out. I'm gonna leave that alone. Here's the bracket, and then we will look at some rosters here in a moment. We'll start with the men's D division, 32 teams, I believe. So it's a good-looking straight double elimination with no buys for anybody. I think that's what we want to see. Some of the higher seeds might not like that because we've had a fair share of, over the years, top threes getting upset early on in the tournament. Come bring your best, because that other team is definitely looking to surprise the community. Excommunicado has been a scrappy crew at times this year. They will get started at 8 a.m. versus Down and Dirty. NWT, we have not seen as much as them here in the second half of the year, but they are still a top 5 quality team. They will take on Buck Wild. Choney Water might be one of those dark horses that no one is really thinking about until they are smashing gaps down your throat. Choney Water could be a dark horse outside of the top 5 for sure in this tournament. Bad Luck Factory at 8 a.m. Yard Dogs, one of those higher ranked teams, they will take on Desert Climate. BDE will take on Dirty D's. Cliffs Welding versus Morning Wood. Hiatus on Main. One of those teams are hovering around that top 5 potential. They will take on the 928 boys, who usually play very good this time of the year. Chosen Iron is the consensus number 1. They will meet LSU. Chosen Iron, the USSSA state champion, and the favor on many people's board to win the GSL State Championship. Bottom half of the bracket, the Flock family will get NGE, the Road Warriors versus GFYM. Road Warriors were the USSSA State Championship runner-up. CT Athletics, not the Eve team, the D1. They will take on Raw Customs. The BCO, fresh off of their stunning run in the BC U-Trip State Championship, back to the reality of 3 home runs. How will they fare? They will take on the Dogs in the opener. TGF versus On a Sick One, Revenge Tour, meeting Originals, SOBs versus the Brew Crew, and the Chino Tropics will get the E Division's number 2 ranked FAAFO, who making the push this weekend, a week before their E State Championship opportunity. Let's go back to the top and let's go look at some brackets, because we always find that this time of the year there are some differences in the rosters. Let's see if anybody has added anything to make them a little more scary going into this weekend. We'll come back to the C's in a moment. Excommunicado has played some good ball, like I said. They are above 500 now on the year, though at U-Trip States, it did not show. They had 2 straight top 3 performances going in, and then they go 0-2 to the surprise of many. Edgar Shariva, Leo Magnelis, Jose Miranda, Kyle Moore, Sammy Sanchez, Roger Varela, Anthony Yee, Edgar Cachon, Cole Newgart, Anthony Durazo, Daniel Miranda, Jared Cruz, Nick Reichalt, Hudson Bucknauer, Austin Hunt. We are in the month of July. Anthony Yee, I think he's been with them. Maganellis has been with them. So they did not go out and add any big names going this. They're riding with the squad that they've had. And again, a couple good finishes recently, but in these big tournaments, they have not looked good. 1-2 at the Make It Rain, 0-2 at U-Trip States. They've got to be better in bigger tournaments. They'll have to figure that out this weekend. Down and Dirty is an 11-21 team. No disrespect. I think when your record, if you're not at least 500, we're probably not going to need to look at your roster. I've heard that some people don't like that I don't pull up their roster, like it's disrespectful for their team. Play better during the year, and we won't have that problem. NWT, Cam Begay, Nick Gravano, the Jones twins, Mondo Tavazone, Izzy Reyna, Pedro Zozueta, Dre Benuelos, Guadalupe Martinez. They go better known as Wally, Anthony Dodson, Ace Ortiz, Jose Reyna, Derek Johnson, Ben Garcia. Proof has been in the pudding with this team, 33-18, near 70% clip. Last couple tournaments, 2 9th place finishes, and then a 17th here. They were 3rd at Spring Slam. Again, the start of the year was decent. They won a couple tournaments. They had a couple second places. They have missed a lot of time, though, down the stretch. They have not been the NWT of old. But again, I think they are rearing up for a run this time. A lot has happened this year. They were one of the favorites at the start of the year, have not gotten to see as much of NWT. Don't be surprised, though, if they go off this weekend. Buck Wild is a 5-12 team on the year. Not great, though they were 3-2, top 4 at their last tournament. 5-12, though, on the year. Choney Water. Now, they are a sub-500 team, so I'm definitely going to make a liar of myself, because I'm still going to look at them. Because here in the last 3 tournaments, a 5th, a 4th, a 5th, 11-6 is good to me. It's not crazy great, but I still think this team could definitely hurt some feelings come this weekend. Jacob Crawford, Jose Macias, Elijah Rodriguez, AJ Simpkins, Tyler Weibel, Matty Crockett, Wyatt Wright. Wyatt Wright can flat out hit. Dominic Sable, Cristobal Caballero, David Bates, X, Devin Beaudoin, Danny Willis, Chris Lewis. So I saw them a few weeks ago at an all-nighter. Devin Beaudoin, one of my favorite ball players, got asked to play, and he didn't have nothing to do, and he decided to play, and he is stuck with this team, and they have started to cook since they added him. Danny Willis, scrappy ball player, hits well to the opposite field. Wyatt Wright, very powerful dude. We've seen him at different points. David Bates, hard hit. They've got a good crew. This is not a team you want to sleep on. If you start thinking about the upset bids, even though Buck Wild has not been a great team, and Buck Wild beat them, BDE coming out of the East. So they've lost to a couple teams that they, in my opinion, should be beating. Though they have beat Down and Dirty a couple times, Originals. So there's some teams to be had. But again, the eye test, I like what I see out of this team. It'll be interesting to see them put in work this weekend. Bad luck, well below 500. Should be a team that they should be able to beat in the opener. Orlando Zapata, what's happening, brother? We were talking a little bit. Hey, while I keep going, what has happened to the Valley Boys? Where are you guys at? Y'all won this tournament last year, the GSL Worlds. Haven't been seeing as much of the Valley Boys. I hope everything is okay. But definitely miss seeing and hearing you guys out there putting in work. Yard Dogs, 6-4 in their last 10, though they were really starting to make noise. Really solid record on the year, pushing close to 50 wins on the year. Third place at the all-nighter. They went 0-2 at U-Trip States, which was very shocking, coming off the heels of an undefeated Bash for Bats run. Second place, fourth place. 4 of their last 5 tournaments, they've been a top 4 team. The biggest tournament on this list, though, they went 0-2. So I know that's something that Barella is stressing to his guys. We got to show up at a big one. This is going to be their chance here this weekend. Mitchell Haney just talked about Jace Montgomery earlier in the show. I don't know who's getting the bracelet. I was teasing out there this weekend. We were talking about something. The team that Jace played on did not give him the bracelet. I'm hard-pressed to find any team that should have anyone else as the DHH ahead of Jace Montgomery. I just think the dude is so powerful that I'm going to let him eat. Everybody else is going to have to adjust. He does hit some hard ground balls, but I think he's just more comfortable letting it rip. I think he's got a good eye, so he's going to take some pitches. He might get you a free 1 or 2, but it'll be interesting to see if he gets that label this weekend. Jesse Sanchez, Barella, of course, Riley Copeland. Yeah, that's a strong dude. I heard that Michael Cooper has been working on his power. He's had a big year as far as home runs. He's been putting in some work with Herb Hudson. It's been paying off for him. Xavier Ponce, you're going to get hard line drives out of him. Fidel Lopez, Alex Pena coming off of his 1,000 tournament this past weekend. Brandon Tooch, a lot of power there. Christian Arnenzetter, Mark Stamper, Antoine Sable, Nick Van Horn, Herb Hudson, Jake Hershey, Benny Benavides, and Nani Benavides. They can hit. They got a lot of home runs to be had. Just if you know anything about this game and hearing these names, this is going to be a team that's going to hit a few IEs. At what point of the game will those IEs come? Because they have gotten better than what was originally advertised earlier on in the year. And one of the games that really, really stood out when we go back a couple tournaments was this one. The 18-16 comeback win over the Chino Tropics. Chino was up by a bunch in that game. Yard Dogs did a better job of holding on to their home runs, and they came all the way back and they won that game. It was an impressive win against a Road Warrior team, another team that is very, very power-driven. So can they control it? We will find out. But then again, that Choney Water team, they lost a couple games to teams that have you scratching their head. They beat the Yard Dogs in this one, and then they also went on to lose the hiatus on Maine later on in that same tournament. So again, they're a good team, but they can be had. Um, it's just a matter of which version of them steps up, and sometimes it is not as good as others. Now, I did some other work on top teams. Yard Dogs are 0-4 against Chosen Iron. They are 3-4 against the Tropics. They are 3-0 against the Road Warriors, 2-0 against BCO, 1-2 against Hiatus, and 1-2 against NWT, the teams that have been getting the most conversation going into this tournament. Desert Climate Mechanical. Okay. 0-3. So game number 1 looks pretty good if you are a fan of the Yard Dogs. And wow, that is a stunning comment right there. World champions, and it's all over. Wow. I hadn't heard that. Again, I know people were making babies and all of that. I did not think the team was done. That is crazy. So who picked up Orlando Zapata this weekend? I mean, obviously, he sounds like he's a free agent. That is stunning. But Valley Boys, one thing you'll never be able to take away from them, 2024 Men's D World Champion. Again, as always, congratulations to them. BDE. So BDE was a really good E team last year. They got into some fight, lost some good players. Those players are returning, and they are holding their own. 16-9 in their last 25, 7-3 in their last 10. Second and third, their last 2 trips out, SummerSlam and the Last Man Standing. So they're playing some good ball. I think this is Shava's team. Alberto Aldez. I'm not going to know most of these names, and I'm probably going to say it wrong, so my apologies. Esquivel Alvarez, Josh Bouts, Elaine Camus, Luis Carranza, Jose Cervantes, Francisco Dyke, Enrique Hernandez, Kevin Padilla, Manuel Patron, Salvador Rodriguez, Xavier Terrazas, Fernando Padilla, Derek Chavez, Rolando Vasquez, Iram Acosta, Eddie Cado. Okay, I did know some of those names. So decent, solid squad. And again, they have played well recently. Tropics got them pretty good. They beat the Yard Dogs. They beat Buckwild. They beat Choney Water. They lost to the Yard Dogs the last time out. Not too bad within 5. Of course, the Tropics have been on one. They left no doubt in that matchup. But that's a good little crew going into the weekend. Dirty D's, 6-11. I'm going BDE in that one for sure. Cliffs Welding is a very veteran-packed team. They are sub 500. Surprising number for them on the year. I thought they'd be better. They do have a recent win against TGF and Excommunicado, a couple decent squads. Lost to Brew Crew, lost to Choney. So a couple tough losses. 2-2 at States. Looking for better results this time out. Morningwood, I don't expect this to be a great win-loss record. No, 7-12. All right, coming back. Hiatus on Maine has that's a decent crew based on some of the names that I know are on there. They've got some of the Wadi type of feel to them, 22-11. So that's close to a 70% clip. They did win the Dusk Till Dawn, 8-1, 7th and the 9th though since then. But they do have a very, very good record. Ace Marufo is the leader of that team. Or yep, there he is right there. Dylan Baldridge, Scuba Steve, Brandon Cohn, Matthew Connors, Truman Lamb. I don't know Truman Lamb, so I'm not really making fun of him. That might be my least favorite name in all of softball. That's real uppity, bro. But I'm sure I will like him as a person, and we will share a laugh about how much I hate his name. Christian Martinson, Hunter Martin, Carter Maddox, Brandon Sloboda, Ace, Cameron Mulhern, Tanner Pitts, Tanner Ludwig, Nick Mom, Miles Bosick. I mean, again, there's some new names, some guys that were coming up, essentially being Waddy Jr., and then they took some dudes that were part of Waddy from before, a couple pieces from other teams. Hard-hitting Tanner Pitts, scrappy Carter Maddox, Nick Mom can give you a bit of everything. Scuba Steve hits the ball well. Dylan Baldridge hits the ball well. So they got a good crew. They got one of those crews that you don't want to see. They might come in and shock you. I've seen them. They have a 2-1 record against the Yard Dogs, who have been a top 5 team most of the year. So they've beaten good teams. It's just a matter of being able to put it all together for a deep run in this one. Some Challenge Cup star power on that team, led again by their starting pitcher, Ace Marufo. So that'll be a team to keep an eye on this season. 928 boys, they definitely have had some good moments in the latter part of the year over the past few years, but only a 12-17 team this year. We'll see if they can find a way to turn it on this coming weekend. The U-Trip State Champion goes by the name of Chosen Iron. They are 41-11 on the year, 5-time champion. Though their last time out, they played up in the Men's C. They finished in 4th place at the last man standing. Prior to that, though, they had a good little run. They had won 4 out of 5, and the one that they didn't win, they finished in 2nd place. Joshua Anderson, Caleb Cachone, Chicken, Luke Curry, Ben Drent, Austin Fide, Ruby Franco, Rich Galuski, Brett Howard, Hunter Klein, Hunter Lee, Chad Stalter, Parker, Lavasic, Nugget, Eric King, Mason Frost. Okay, so no Buddy Brownlee. He'll be with Sick Not Weak. I am looking. Wait. Okay. No Colin Darasu on there either. I won't speculate. Hunter Klein is one of the best defensive players in the D division in the outfield. Ben Drent hits the piss out of the ball. Austin Fide has pitched very, very well. Luke Curry is a very solid third baseman. Hits well up in that lineup for them. Ruby Franco, good bat. Brett Howard is the consummate leader, and he's got some pop at any given time. Chad is a hit machine for this team. Mason Frost, solid young ball player both ways. Colin's got family stuff. There's your answer. Eric King is a beast, no doubt. I'm wondering if Eric's going to be the DHH or Brett. Or even Ben Drent, who has gotten some love with the Standard Plumbing family for the way he handles the bat. They got good problems to have in figuring that out. Caleb Cachone has been a great addition to that team with his ability to hit the ball well. Brett says what's about to end the speculation. I mean, you're the number one. You win the Triple Crown in the E division. You come into the Ds. You do not miss a beat. They have won tournaments this year with the presence of Brownlee. He will be playing C's this weekend. Colin's got a lot of pop down there at the bottom of the order. That's a one of your main leaders for sure as far as dugout presence missing this weekend. I would say, if there's ever been a time that Chosen Iron has been fit to be had, this would be it. And as soon as you say that, they go win another tournament anyway. So you don't want to doubt them. Their body of work says you got to respect the product that Howard is putting onto the field with these guys. It's going to be a very, very tough team to beat. But they are also one of those teams that they have lost early in a tournament before, and they've had to run the gauntlet. They are comfortable with doing that. 7-1 to win the U-Trip State Championship. So they can be beat early in the tournament. 21-6. Chino Tropics, game number 3. 13-11 against that very Chino Tropics team. They have the ability better than most to recover from an early loss. And there you see it. They had to run a bit of a gauntlet in the Sunday to get the job done, including a double dip and 2 very good games against the Road Warriors to win the state championship. I'm a numbers doesn't lie type of guy. 4 Triple Crown tournaments since Brett Howard introduced us to this squad. They've won them all. This is a tournament they do not lose in. They do not lose in state championship tournaments. It'll be very, very interesting to see how that plays out. LSU is 0-0. All right, I'm nosy. Casa Grande. We don't know anything about these guys. Some Gonzalez boys, Leonard Jimmy, Jet Thompson, Gabe Gonzalez, Rubicalba. They got some dude. They got some scrappy little ball players. Okay. The Casa Grande crew coming out. Boy, y'all got a shitty draw. Good luck with that against the state's number 1 team. We'll see how they fare. All right. We are still okay. Now we're going into the bottom half of the bracket. I lost my place. Where am I? Okay, Flock. All right, Flock 19-19. They're right on that 500. We'll take a look at them. Josh Albers, Joe Jacobs, Corey Sager, Spencer Cohen, Snowflake, Donovan McMullen, Brandon McCann, Jordan Stevenson, Nick Daffrin, Chris O'Neill, Gary Woods, Tanner Lentz. Not to be confused with the great Kent Lentz. Andrew Dersh, Tyler Metcalf, Tom Cross, and Mr. Daffrin, the Goose. Look, a few years ago, this team was in state championship contention. A lot of the same guys that they rocked with back in the day, some key pieces not there anymore. It does not look the same, but on any given day, I give them a shot. Some close matchups. They played Tropics to a close one. They beat TGF, and they lost to Hiatus. So, they're not terrible. They've seen a bit of hiatus here recently. They whooped up on Confusion, whooped up on Real, whooped up on Cutthroat. So they beat up on some decent squads, paid in full, Real. So you never know. I mean, I give Flock a couple games for sure. NGE in the opener, I think they're going to take it to them. NGE 12-18 team. Not their best stuff here this year. Road Warriors, definitely a team we got to talk about. I've been hard on them at times because they are an IE squad, 29-21, 5th, 3rd, 2nd, coming into their own in these big tournaments. 2nd place, though they were double dipped, I did not see them getting into the top 3, let alone getting to the state championship game undefeated. Now it's GSL. It opens up a little more for them because they get to put a bracelet on somebody. So if they've already shown that they got the chops to get there in U-Trip, they're in a good spot to make a run here again. Matty Baffert, PJ Guillen, Steven Montillo, Ratty Sierra. Ratty's probably your hitter. We'll see who else. RJP, Cody Porter, Adam Sewing, Alex Bookman, Andrew Garcia. I know that couldn't be Nino's Garcia, who's been playing b-ball. I don't know about this damn computer sometimes. The computer is really, really weird to me. Danny, Marcus Mitchell, Coulter Hunt, Jesse Guzman, Luis Palacios, Richie Williams, Calvin. Oof. Whew. All right. So Calvin Shea just showed off his power out in Prescott. I've been talking about him. His bat has come a long, long way. Very, very good with the glove, too. Solid two-way player. They got a lot of speed. So that'll help him out on the defensive end. I'll be very interesting if this is the Andrew Garcia that I'm thinking of. Sewing's got pop. RJP is going to go line to line and give you really, really good defense. PJ, solid ball player. Matty Baffert, they got some good veteran presence on this team. Ratty Sierra has been a dangerous power hitter for some time now. So he definitely gives them an opportunity at some big spots. And again, they're playing decent down the stretch, though 6-4 in their last 10, only 13-12 in their last 25. But again, the broad picture, second place at UTRIP. They come into this as one of the favorites. We'll see how that plays out. Their first game is against a whole lot of letters, but not a lot of wins. 4-11. We'll keep it moving. Come on back here. CT Athletics in the D's probably is not lit in the world on. Oh, actually, they're above 500. All right. So let's take a look. CT Athletics, of course, in the E division, runner-up performance at UTRIP States. The D division, Yankel, Mikey Elliott, Jeff Lewis, Luis Ramirez, Mario Ramirez, Nako, Taylor Hamlin, Matthew Gibson, Jordan McGee, Sean Dowdy, Zach Van Tress, Nick Herron, Julian McLaughlin, David Pelt, Michael Correa. Solid squad, Okay. The 500 makes sense. I haven't heard a ton about them. Is that John Jay's kid? Like John Jay from the radio? Isn't it John Jay Van Truss or Van S? Something like that. He's famous. Jordan McGee, that's my guy. Solid at 3. Hitting the ball well this year for sure. They got a scrappy little crew. We'll see. I don't know if they're getting to Sunday. But 4-6 in their last 10. They got some work to do. Raw Customs has been a confusing team. As you see, 4-6 in their last 10, but 14-11 in their last 25. So they haven't looked good recently. But this is a really deep squad. A lot of guys who have played up at C come back down to D. Figure to make an impact come this weekend. Robert Baird, James Bonvini, Jackson Coble, Travi Johnson, Rafael Neblis, Hector Vasquez, Ryan Parra, Jesus Sosaria, Rob Meza, Craig Reynolds, Julio Angelo, Estelin Soto, Andrew Coleman, Nick Russo, and Skylar Yarborough. So no changes in the month of July. This squad has been on lock as is, but again, has not played well recently. I can't even pick out who I think would be their true DHH on this team. They would know better than me, but I think you got a good two-headed monster with Craig and Soto on the mound. Love Andrew Coleman's game. Sky Yarborough's got some Tropic in him. Part of the Tropics family in the past. He's coming along really nicely. I've really liked seeing him swing the bat here lately. It's a decent crew. Decent to the point where I'm surprised by 4-6 in their last 10, if I'm being completely honest. 0-3 at the all-nighter, 2-2 at UTRIP States. Before that, they were starting to come into their own with a third and a fourth. I liked what they were doing. They just have not looked good lately. Craig says They don't let me pitch. Well, I'm staying out of that conversation. But you know, we'll see how that goes. But I mean, on paper, that should be a better team than the results found. That's going to be an intriguing 9:30 game with two teams both above 500 on the year. Somebody's going to be in the losers bracket early on. That might be the best matchup that I've seen so far as competitive teams. Craig, hitter and pitcher. Yeah, okay. If Craig is the hitter, then I buy that because he's been killing right center field. He was doing his thing out in Prescott last weekend as well. So I like that for sure out of them. Hold on, Tyler. Hold on. All right. I think we're okay with that. But now we'll talk more about that. BCO, scary team. This I'm not even gonna say dark horse. They did win Saturday Night Lights. They've had some decent showings in GSL events, 5-2, 5-2. That 2-2 is not great. I think Bash for Bats was a U-Trip event. 3-2 at Men's B, where they were allowed a lot more home runs, and they definitely turned heads. 32-19 on the year. Did they make any moves? Dylan Barella, Hayden and Hunter Bryce, Shane Dahl, Bennett Wagner, Michael Wagner, Daniel Bravo, Christian Vianney, Rhino, Brandon Dawson, McKay Nelson, Brad Dahl, Ryan Baldonado, and some more members of the Bryce gang, Nick and Rick. All right. In all honesty, you're going to be hard-pressed to find... Ooh. U-Trip ads are pissing me off. They've got the best outfield arms in this tournament, in my opinion. If there's a team with better arms, please let me know. My team included, that I'll be out there with. But these dudes, you better make sure it's to their backhand side or into a gap. But if they can square it up or, glove side, taking that extra base could be a problem for you. That's just the scouting report. These boys can throw the ball. Infield is nice too. They got good leadership. They got a lot of power. And the last time I checked, Ryan Baldonado was not their DHH. If that hasn't changed by now, I don't know. But you got a Ryan Baldonado, you got a Hunter Bryce, you got Sauce Bravo, who's like a $160 soaking wet, but his launch angle, he connects. You got a Michael Wagner, who is arguably got the best and most accurate arm you're going to see in this tournament this weekend. Michael Wagner's scary talented. One of the newer faces here in 2025 that you probably don't know as well because I haven't done shows. Very, very good ball player. This team is top to bottom talented. There's no surprise whatsoever if they get to Championship Sunday. Rhino and Rick, two-headed monsters on the mound. I am more of a fan of having a set number one for state championship tournaments. And if they get in trouble, then you got to show number two. It's been working for them, but is it? Switching pitcher every game, like I myself don't love it. If it's working for them, so be it. We'll see how it goes. But there was a point in the year where pitching was my worry for the BCO. They have definitely fixed that using both of these guys. And again, they hit at a very, very high clip. Their defense is very, very tough. For this type of tournament, this is one of my teams that I believe will for sure be showing up to the complex on Championship Sunday. The Dogs, 11 a.m. is not going to go well for you. Not going to go well for you at all. That's probably my best bet game right there. I really, really like BCO coming into this tournament. TGF 25-24, 5-5. 11-14 in their last 15. This is a good team that just has not put the consistency together yet. Devin Fowler, Ryan Goins, Will Hughes, Chris Lee, Tommy Martinez, Jose Valencia. These preview shows go long, y'all. We still got the C division to talk about. Nick Wallace, Justin Rodriguez, TJ Nolan, Chase Babcock, Von Washington, Anthony Moreno, Brendan Jenkins. They once scored over 40 runs in a game not that long ago. Like, they can hit. I don't care who you are. If you're giving up, if you're scoring 40 runs in a game, you're doing something. TJ Nolan is a bad man. Chase Babcock is a bad man. Von Washington, like that's 3 Challenge Cup worthy hitters right there. I'm just trying to see what, I don't know what bothers me about that. Nick Wallace is one of the most sure gloves. You got scrappy dudes around you. Valencia, Moreno. I don't know what's not clicking completely with this crew because they got a good team. 500 is 500. I don't think they're a 500 team. I think they're better than that, but they just haven't done it in a complete manner. So that's a bit surprising to me, their overall record. I don't know if that's everybody, because where are the Hansons? Maybe they haven't added everyone back to their roster yet, because I thought they had a couple Hansons on this team that are pretty good too. But yeah, I don't know what it is. I think that is a solid crew. And I'm not sure why they have not had more success. Like, no disrespect to that Cliffs Welding's team. TGF shouldn't lose to Cliffs Welding, in my opinion. The Flock is scrappy veterans. That can happen. BCO is what they are. But then you beat a Raw Customs team by 10? Like, it's just a lot of inconsistency. Saturday Night Lights, they lost in the ship to that BCO team. That's to be expected. You were just in the ship. U-Trip being what it is, GSL might be more their speed, but then GSL Spring Slam 1-3. This team is one of the great mysteries in the D division this year. Like, you guys should not be a 500 team. Yeah, you're definitely better than that. So really surprised by that. On a sick one, sub 500 team. That logo's got a little pop to it. That logo should be on your jersey. I like this logo right here better than the jerseys that I've seen for on a sick one. I think I said a couple weeks ago on the show, might have been the ugliest jersey in Arizona this year. I'm sticking with that. Get a jersey with this logo on it. I like that. That one looks a little cleaner than whatever that other thing is. Revenge Score 23-20. Okay. I played with them 1 week. They got some scrappy dudes for sure. Christian Garcia, Michael Johnson, Ryan Schovacher, Trevin Sims, Arturo Turan, Tyler Wicks, Jared Hummel, Anthony Cellini, Duncan Eagles, Clayton Sprangler, Kyle Peck, Manny Soto, Jolly, Toby Schovacher, Joseph Yoshito, Eric Bakota, Fatboy Pelfrey, Zach Cellini. Okay. That was a sick logo, Casey. Yeah. Zach Cellini has had a Challenge Cup Word of the Year. Fatboy Pelfrey is a solid pitcher, and he's got a lot of pop. It'll be interesting to see if he gets the bracelet, especially with a team that also has Jolly on it with a lot of pop. Toby Schovacher. Man, his glove at third base, I was telling him about it. Hell a year he's having. Duncan Eagles, Peck can hit it. Cellini, like, this is another team. I don't exactly know what is missing when they have their L's, because unless they run into bat control issues, because they've got a deep deep squad as well, but they got a lot of guys that can hit bombs. But you are coming in on 3 straight losses. The Tropic loss, not as bad. On a sick one, should not beat this team 19-2, in my opinion. And Brew Crew 21-16. These are bad losses, I think, for the Revenge Tour. That they were at a point where they were starting to get a little something going. They won Moneyball, top 10 at Spring Worlds isn't terrible. Fifth, a third, a fifth. You're starting to put a little something together here. And then you have an 0-2 at U-Trip States, which really knocks the wind right out of your sails. This is not a good tournament. And now I don't know if it was a 4th of July weekend tournament, so they might have been playing with some fill-ins. But they had some fill-ins this weekend too, and they played some decent ball. I know I was there. But this shouldn't happen. So I hope that they come out looking better to this weekend. But that's another one of those teams that can definitely give you a little more than what you think that they're going to give you. Original sub 500, 13-18. SOBs sub 500 as well. Brew Crew. Good God. Brew Crew has been beating some good teams. 4 of their last 5 they've won. But, wow. Good record overall for the year. Chino Tropics. All right. Sure. 41-19, very high clip. Another one of those teams pushing 70% for the year. 18-7, 7-3. A lot of green coming in. Top 3 in their last 4 tournaments. 2 out of those 4, they won the whole thing. Now, before I look at the roster, I want to see who they lost to. 4-0. Decimated everyone. Lost to Chosen by 2. Lost to the Road Warriors by 3. That was U-Trip States, and they finished in, what, 3rd? Yeah. So, into the King seat, undefeated. Lost a close one to the Road Warriors. And again, when you lose those close ones and you got to immediately turn back around, those are the toughest games. Those are the toughest, I believe, because there's no break. So when you lose a close one that would have put you in the state championship, and then you got to turn around and play the number 1 ranked team, that's a tough area to be in. And the result shows it. They finished in 2nd place earlier in the year, though, at the Spring World. So they definitely have deep runs in them. Depending on how quick Craig's team gets eliminated, I think they've got, in my opinion, they got the best coaching staff out there this weekend. So, but this team is scary talented. Bradley Denny, though I don't think I've seen much of him this year, but we have seen a ton of Dylan Elgin, my son's favorite player, Chaz Mingles. Austin Seisinger, R.W. Shannon, who we did not see in Prescott, but that dude's a stud. Skylar Brooks, haven't seen him in a few weeks. Wyatt Seats can go backside now. I love it. Cody Burns, 750 with a walk-off. Lou Valencia hits the ball very solid. Bailey Ramirez, Andrew Thurman, the great Mikey Paulus, the great Tyler Hickson, Rylan Cox, J.C. Dyer. Bat control. I'm sure that they have preached that. I think since the Yard Dogs game, the mentality, something different. For sure, just from conversations that I've had with some of the guys, they want to jump out on you, and then they want to keep the boot on the throat. And I think you have to have that mentality this weekend. You don't want to start switching outfielders to shortstop and playing games and giving teams opportunities. I think they are ready. I think I did not put a slide together for this. This is my pick to win the tournament. Obviously, I'm partial. I'm a little impartial, excuse me. I think I'm saying it wrong. I Yeah, I think this team's winning the state title this weekend. Um, I just think defensively they have the best crew. I think around the diamond, this is the best defense in the tournament, and they are easily one of the 3 to 5 best offenses. It's keeping the ball in the yard that is going to make or break them. I believe when I looked at the bracket, the second game, if they win the first game, is on Polo. I think that's going to be a big help. But most of the run for the Tropics to get to their goal goes through Wrigley. Fair distance. I don't know. I'm trying to be a little careful with what I say now that I'm back with them, at least for the stretch run of this year. But everyone knows I love these guys. I'm supposed to be impartial on the mic. I'm always rooting for them. Tyler Hickson had a 5 home run game out in Prescott this weekend. But Mikey Paulus is a walking dinger. So they got a tough decision there, though I believe it's Mikey. They just got so much pop. RW can accidentally hit some. That's the scary parts. But as far as hitting, Dylan Elgin is ripe for an 800-900 type tournament. Chaz is back, continues to get better, and pound for pound, one of the best infielders in all of Arizona. Wyatt, Lou, they've just found the ability to do so many, change their game in so many different ways than what was hurting them in May, June. I just feel like this is the time right now for this team to go out there and do something dangerous. And of course, that's without really making mention of 2 guys at the bottom of this list in Ryland and JC, which if you put those 2 on any top 5 roster, they could very easily be a favorite to win the tournament as well. That's how good and that's how deep this team is. It's just about managing the home runs, see if we can get out of the first trip through the batting order without hitting one. That's less than a 3-run homer. You got to set those type of goals to get inside your heads. And I think a deep run is coming. I think a 2023 type run is coming. And these boys are ready for that challenge. Be ready. You're going to hear a whole lot of E-I-E-I-O this weekend. FAAFO's got a very tough task coming up from the E division this weekend, and they have had a good year, 46-14. They've won, I believe, 5 titles. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they're a scrappy team. Now, E to D is not as different as D and C, because we've seen some good E teams come right into the D division and play very well. Chosen Iron, one of those type of teams. So I don't believe the Tropics will be sleeping on these boys at all. But what I did see from them at U-Trip States was a very hesitant offense once they hit their first home run, and they were hitting them pretty early in the game. Now they will have 3 and a hitter as they try to get ready for Drip and company next weekend. Daniel Baca, Cyrus Crabtree, Martin Gonzalez, Mark Hernandez, Jordan Johnson, Jed Lindblom, Xavier Lindsay, Rory Malvahill, Jose Olivero, Julio Separich, Lorenzo Valencia, Dallin Wood, Dom Richards, Brendan Mendoza, Alejandro Ramirez, Lindsay looks like, and Cyrus Crabtree, the only July ads, though they still have a couple days to tweak if need be. again, let me go back because I want to take a look here. So they put up runs 17, 23, 19, then a 14, and then a 2. Um, where they hit a home run in the first inning and they couldn't do anything. I think with the confidence of being able to free swing early on, um, they might give themselves a shot to hang. I don't want to talk too much trash, but again, I think y'all know me enough where I say what I need to. With the pitching was not good. When on Championship Sunday of the U-Trip states, the pitching was not good. So hopefully for their sake, they are able to correct that because again, you don't have the success that they've had this year without decent pitching. They just did not have that at all at U-Trip states. So for their sake, I hope that they can find a way to iron that out and at least be competitive this weekend and then put themselves in a good position come next week. But again, there's a team that is chasing a 5th straight title in that E division. So they're taking this weekend off. FAAFO feels the need to get out there and play because they have not looked their best. And that's what they're doing this weekend. And the draw, not favorable, as they will meet the Chino Tropics in Game 1. Fun, right? And that is the men's D division. Championship Sunday, 2 p.m. Hey, you got any picks? Go ahead and drop them in the comments. Let me know who you think will be the men's D state champion. But while I'm looking at it, let's take a look here and see who's. All right. Top half of the bracket, Chosen Iron is the top seed up there. They might have a tilt. See, this 12:30 game could be a good one. Hiatus on Maine if they're able to get it. And then BDE could come a calling come 6:30. All right. So I would not look at this and say they have like the easiest run. I don't think LSU is going to be able to really hang with them, but I think you run into they get a good break here. So the 12:30 game could be a little competitive, and if they get out of that, then you've got like 4-hour break before you if the schedule goes the way it's supposed to or the way it looks like it might. BDE could be a very scrappy foe for Chosen Iron come the 6:30 hour. They go back to back here. We're to 5 p.m. So in this part of the winners bracket, there's 4 different games. 3 of them are at 6:30. So all of those 6:30 teams will have to go back to back and go right into 8 o'clock. This 5 p.m. winner gets a game break before they play at 8 o'clock. Could be the Yard Dogs, Choney Water up there as well, XCOM, NWT. There's 4 very solid teams in the top of this bracket that could pinch their way toward 8 o'clock, but I think they have a very good advantage with that 5 o'clock game, balls out, and then you get a break, whereas down at the bottom, Chosen Iron, if they run it the way they're supposed to, they got to go right into a back-to-back at 8 o'clock. I would have liked to have seen all 4 of the winners bracket games in that part all be at 6:30 with fairness in mind. I don't know how one ended up at 5 and then 3 of them at 6:30. I don't necessarily love that. Now, on the other side of the complex, the Fenway Wrigley at the top, BCO Dogs, Raw Customs, BCO Road Warriors half. That could be a hell of a 6:30 game, and I think both of those teams could beat each other up pretty damn good. And with respect, the bottom half of the bracket, I think out of the top teams in these 4 quads, I think the Tropics got the best draw for sure. I don't think the SOB's Brew Crew. I mean, again, the Brew Crew team has been kind of sneaky because they've won some games late in the year, and it's just like, who are these guys? But the Revenge Tour Originals, TGF on a sick one. on a sick one might get fired up because I've talked shit on their jerseys type of deal. But I think the Tropics have have the easiest run of the top teams to get toward 8 p.m. in the winners bracket Final Four. So that's what it looks like. There'll be a lot of live streaming, but the D division should be a good watch this weekend for sure. It's just, can the top teams avoid the early upsets? We have not seen that as much in years past. Here is what the men's C division looks like with their championship game Saturday night at 6:30. PLB will take on Salsa in essentially a play-in game, with the winner taking on the SOBs. Ruckus will get Mexicali down there at the bottom. The X-Men and Sick Not Weak, there was a time where they were number 1 and number 2 in the men's C division this year. They will meet in game 1, and Raleigh White will take on Caribbean Oasis in an early matchup. There's some really, really good matchups early on. Let's go look at the rosters, shall we? Figure this out. Bracketology, tons of fun here on our preview show. PLB, I know PLB was a D team at one point, but they jumped up to C's, 6-5 in C's, 26-17 overall. This will be interesting to see this roster because they jumped up. PLB. I think this might be that not young team. Ryan Anderson, Renee Alvarez, Keith Collins, Braylon Cox, Tatum Hendricks, Paul Henning, Travis Maxwell, Buddy Bloomgren, Chris Scott. Yeah, this is not young. Chris Van Zant, Corey Sippe, Manny Alvarez, Calvin Lewis, Tyler Booth, Austin Browning, Joshua Todd. All right, so we're going to see some of those B names that aren't playing, and let's see how they get spread out among rosters. Austin Browning from Classy on with this team. They got some old dudes, but I saw them out in Prescott. They're scrappy. They got a lot of pop to them. Always been a big fan of Manny Alvarez. It was good seeing him out there this weekend. Travis Maxwell, Chris Scott is one of them ageless wonders that is always going to give you some big at-bats. Good little squad. You see how they can hang. Bojamir, 26-11. That didn't look good. Young vets. They beat the young vets, though. They beat Ruckus already. And then those were rematches after losses down there. So, some scrappy potential for sure. Second place at the all-nighter, third place. So they've been playing decent their last couple trips out. Both of these being, because they were at D. So their 2 C tournaments were both top 3 finishes. So that's not bad at all. I like that for sure. Salsa. Wow. That doesn't look good. 0-5. There's only 9 C teams, so we'll take a look at them. Nick Alvarez, Steven Gonzalez, Tommy Pickles, John Payan, Scotty Squire, Eddie Villa, Ethan Valenzuela, Anthony Alejandro, Mike Tapia, Larry Gonzalez, Colton Jett, Jesus Tafoya, Zach Ketcherside, Joey Sunia, Kyle Analau, and Whitey. All right. I don't think this is an 0-2 team. I think they're 0-4 on the year coming into it. I'm sure somewhere in the mix is a gentleman by the name of... Nope, that's not Vince Bivens. Okay, so is this not Vince's team anymore, or is he just not going to be there this weekend? But I think if pitching goes without Vince Bivens, I think they're in good hands because they've got U-Trip B Division state champion Zach Ketcherside, and he brought along some friends, Anthony Alejandro from that Standard Plumbing team. Vince will be there, okay? Get yourself put on the roster because, Vince, we know how you are about the roster. Get it done. Sunia hits the shit out of the ball. Kyle Anilau, we've been waiting to see him back in more of a full-time capacity. Colton Jet, Big E, Scotty Squire, if he's actually there. These are all July ads, so it looks like there was a commitment to be added to this roster. Team could be a problem. They could be in the mix. Just the eye test on paper, this is a good-looking squad right here for a team that comes into the tournament with no wins. Oh, Salsa. Keep an eye on that this weekend. We'll definitely keep an eye on that. I do not look at that roster and see Ofer on the weekend. But there are other teams that might have something to say about that. The winner of this game will get the SOBs, which could be a really good matchup. 25-20. SOBs have played quite a bit. Their last 5 tournaments, top 3 or better with 1 championship in there. But let's see what they got. Jojo Cordova, Cody Dreyer, Bobo, Ben Todd, Brandon Cox, Billy Radke, Noel Rodriguez, Dom Bravo, Christian Johnson, Kyle Horvath, Daniel Cabral, Tim Smith, Kenny Maynard, Sean Graff, Dame Dalla, Brandon Sanchez, Evan Ramirez. All right, they're deep. That's good. Yeah, that's a really good squad as well. Again, some standard plumbing influence on this team as well. The standard guys, I like how they, as a B team, they definitely all split up for these C tournaments and play against each other and have a good time with it. So there's a lot of standard star power in these first couple teams that we looked at here. SOBs, they have won big tournaments before, so they've got an opportunity to make a run here this weekend. Ruckus, former Triple Crown winner, was Graham Sports Ruckus a few years back. 23-20 coming into this. Matthew Cole, Rudy Gonzalez, Davion King, Michael Martinez, Rasa, Luis Reyes, Ramon Del Sol, Jose Fernandez, Jainer Baez, Danny Drulard, James Valdivia, Izzy Lavelle, wow, Mike Lyman, George Estrada, Charlie Hernandez, Patrick Dozier, Timmy Robles. That's a good-looking team, too. I mean, it's C Division ball. You're going to see some squads for sure. They got a couple guys from the former MAJ and Matty Cole and Davion King to come swing it with them. Valdivia, tough hitter. Izzy Lavelle is a perennial Challenge Cup type player. Charlie Hernandez, nice. George Estrada, the veteran, been around a long time. Robles, Dozier, Drulard. I mean, it's a good-looking team on paper. Again, it's just about matchups, but hovering around 500 on the year. Good-looking crew. Mexicali, 14-21, not great. And 10 total players. Lucas Leeper, Alex Perez, Armand Torres, Javier Vasquez, Luis Gomez, Matt Dahl, Francisco Marufo, Banda, Alejandro Izagure, and Eric Robigo. They might need a couple more pieces before this weekend. We shall see. Moving upward, the X-Men. Again, good start to the year for them. Hasn't been great since, though. Some ninths, some fifths, but that 1/5 was an 0-3 fifth. Won the first tournament of the year. Bryce Gregory, Pedro Leon, Alfred Pesquiera, Steven Pesquiera, Miggy Rodriguez, Sterling Schuler, Scotty Watson, Eric Alvarez, Miggy Valencia, Frank Chacon, Sammy Rodriguez, Alejandro Venegas, AJ Venegas, Anthony Warsher, Zoe Martin, Sadi Santa Cruz, Jorge Sanchez, Mon Hoskins. A lot of Tucson flair from this team. Good ball players. Again, not sure what has happened with them since the beginning of the year. They got off to a scorching start, but has fizzled something fierce in the meantime. We'll come back to Sick Not Weak. I think they're the number one team, so we'll finish with them. Raleigh White, though, has looked decent. 27-15. They won their last tournament, a second and then a first prior to that. That second was at U-Trip States, where they fell in the end to Sick Not Weak. Tyler Beal, Connor Bowen, Dylan Cook, Payson Gohagen, the power hitter, Joaquin Martinez, Justin Peckler, Nick Stein, Tyler Williams, John Romero, Frank Bavacqua, Tyler Kerpen, Adam Alsop, Joe B., Garrett Clean-Smith, Kevin Armacost, and Joel Bucknauer. Getting a lot of power from new places. And then guys that are used to being their top home run guys are spraying it all over the field. So the balance shifting in a good way for Alsop's squad. Getting Bavacqua back has been really big for them, though they've got good reinforcements behind them if need be on the mound. Very, very tough crew, top to bottom. Joe B., if he reaches for them gummy worms, you know it's about to be on. When he comes up in those big spots, he tends to produce. Last time out, again, they won the title at the all-nighter, and not much was close along the way. Very, very dominant run toward the finish for Raleigh White. Like what they're working with, they definitely figure to be in contention once again this weekend. Don't want to look past that early matchup, though, with Caribbean Oasis. Sub 500 team on the year, but in a tough division, and they got a good squad. Jose Castillo, Paul Dempsey, Stu Dempsey, KG, Ben Houston, Tyler Jackson, Andrew Coulis, Alex Villar, Orlando Machado, Gio Zuviotti, Renee Brockman, Cesar Figueroa, Adrian Fierro, Nathaniel Hutchins, Carl Ham, Derek Meraki. Yeah. I mean, again, in the C division, I think all these teams are going to be solid. It's just a matter of who puts it together best, because this is a good-looking crew. Kulo's been on a tear. Getting to see him up close and personal. Played with Machado last weekend. He looked very, very good. Caesar's always going to give you some good pop. Carl Ham's going to try to put up a Heather Buckley type of number at the plate. Meraki, Tyler Jackson, versatile beast he is. I think Houston might have been brought on to be a backup pitcher, maybe to Zuviotti, or will he pitch if Zuviotti can't for whatever reason? KG, Dempsey, decent squad for sure for Caribbean Oasis, and everyone is chasing Sick Not Weak. They've got the number one ranked team in the state, and based on their power ranking, the number 2 team in the country, 36-7. And they've won some damn big tournaments along the way. Smackdown, Early Bird NIT, they're all right. Spring Worlds, not bad. And the USSSA State Championship. Austin, France. Tavo Ramirez, Buddy Brownlee, David Grovesner, Trevor Fink, Panchito, A.T., Stephen Rainey, Tyler Ramus, Brandon Boyle, Bryce Evans, Billy Stedman, Noel Becerra, Pineapple Macias, Aaron Boyd, Reese D. Reese was killing the ball last weekend. Pine was doing his thing as well. Good to see him back to playing his type of ball. Aaron Boyd left with a really big trophy last time we saw him, as did Brandon Boyle. You're always going to get big production out of Bryce Evans. Ramus kills it wherever they put him up the middle defensively. Good hitter. Rainey has been clutch for them. AT stud at short. You got two great pitchers in Tavo and Panchito. Trevor Fink has left with a big trophy or two in his time with this team. Buddy Brownlee might be your DHH, and one of the best left-handed bats, if not any bat, in Arizona softball. I'm not too sure who Austin France is, if I'm being completely honest, but if he's on this team, then he can definitely hold his own. I mean, where's the weak spot? This is why they are yet to lose double-digit games, and they are pushing toward the number one ranking in the country with Worlds not far away, doing some really, really good things locally. They want to make a statement this weekend. Again, no Triple Crown this year. There is no Far West Regional. So this might be it, except they might have a warm-up or two, if that. But this is where they definitely want to come out, and they definitely want to put it on these teams. Again, Raleigh White, as solid of a roster as they have, this was 28-3 in a championship, 20-5 in a king seat. So they have definitely put a hurting on some teams along the way. But I can't imagine with the leaders on that team, they're going to get too comfortable. Though, I mean, May was a while ago, but they got drubbed here. But this is the type of tournament that they have to have if they're really focused on being a player come Worlds. Again, they've looked good recently, but are these blowouts an indication of just how good they are, or are the other teams not quite on their level? We'll see if it looks the same way this weekend. But I think if you're sick, not weak, you want to have a little more competition. You want to overcome a little adversity. That'll help you going into Worlds. You don't want to just come out and pummel everyone. I'm not sure if that is going to really give them the push that they need before they go out there to Vegas and face much better competition, whether they go to Vegas or Florida, that is. But it's been a very dominant year for them. They've won the big tournaments, and we'll see if they can get that done. 8 a.m. start, 3:30. So no huge breaks, considering they have a 9-team field, 9:30 to 11. So this is a back-to-back spot for SOBs if they get the job done, though Salsa does not figure to be an easy out, an automatic out. I think whoever wins this game is going to beat either of these teams here to get through to the king seat. The road is looking SOBs sick, not weakish, around 3:30. But again, in these big divisions with these full squads, upsets are there to be had. I mean, again, I really like what I saw as far as the balance of that Salsa squad. They could definitely be, the stunner come this weekend if they find a way to get through those first two games, though the SOB is very good. That's going to be a tough 9:30 matchup. No sleeper for sure. 2:15 in. I'm almost there. I think I'm almost there, guys. So that's how that's looking. Yeah, actually, I am done. I did not do predictions, though I normally do. Let me look at these comments and see if anyone gave me anything that I need to talk about. Kyle Schwartz, you belong on the field with us playing 40s. Hit me up. I like doing what I do with the announcing and the coaching. I have been playing some good ball lately. I feel like my swing, because I've been cutting the ball. I like where I'm at. So I'd love to go play some senior ball. Hit me up. I would never delete you, Caesar. Let's see. Ronnie Fettis was up in here. Tyler Hansen. Why are you not on a roster? You better get that figured out. Yeah, man, this shirt is dope. I'll be wearing it Saturday. Let's see. Vaughn would love to play alongside. That's what's up. I don't know if Bob hasn't made – I don't know if there's a decision to be had or as far as the BSC. I'd like to think it's going to be me again, because I've been thinking about the way we lost the last year so much that I'm looking forward to another opportunity. And I like the guys that I've already been in communication with and putting that team together. There were a couple choices last year that if I had to do it again, um, without talking too negatively, I think I'm going to put myself in a position to be in the lineup. I think if, barring anything unexpected, I'm going to be running the BSC rec team again. And I'm going to pick guys to go out there and compete and to try to win this thing because I felt like we should have won it last year. But I think if need be, I'm going to bring myself in. And I trust what I've been doing with the bat enough to be a player coach, but I'm going to coach much more than I'm going to play. So I'm going to trust the guys that we take, and I'm going to take people that are not playing co-ed this year. Dame has already committed to us. He's not going to play co-ed. He said this year he's going to play with the BSC team. So, I'm excited about the prospect of what that team could be. But I'm very excited to have Vaughn with us this year, and I'm disappointed in myself that I didn't see him more last year. So I'm really looking forward to having him with the fellas this year. That's going to be a great add for us. Craig, we had a blast for sure. Fun time on the mound. Chase left the mark. Oh no. Yeah, it was a fun time out there in Prescott this weekend for sure. Again, shout out to those dudes. They put on a really good show. I had the bat at the bottom, so pretty much behind them. Dude scored me every time I got on base. Absolute dog. That's what's up, Justin. TGF, Bandits. J-Rob, MVP. Jacob is a dog. Absolutely. Yeah, again, this dude is playing on basically 1 foot and was just hitting screamer home runs. Zero attitude makes our team immensely better. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been in the dugout with him enough to know it. I've played against them and I've watched them, and I haven't seen or heard anything that has ruffled my feathers. I think he's a good ball player. He's got a bright future here in the desert. I heard he throws other things too. Time to come out of retirement. Are you talking about the umpire? Because yeah, they could definitely use you as an umpire, though you're still playing at a high level. We could always use quality umpires for sure. Matthew Crockett, yes, we will. Choney Water Team. The shocking comment of the day: Orlando Zapata confirming that the 2024 World Champion Valley Boys are no more. Good, should be like a 30 for 30 story. How a team that good broke up so quickly. What up, Evan? Colin said he's got family stuff, which means his future wife said you're not allowed to play. Harpo, always keeping it real. Absolutely. Yeah, I was really keeping it real when I was talking about co-ed earlier. Goodness. Lloyd was here. Let's go Taylor Hamlin. All right. JC. Let's get tropical. Should be me. I love Craig on the mound. I think Craig is a damn good 5-man as well. But you've come into your own very nicely as a pitcher, and that was a moment that was really big with the Tropics boys a couple years ago, because Craig, as good as he is as a 5-man, when your pitcher can close up the middle as good as he does, like you can get away with, if you're in trouble with the gaps, putting the 5-man into the outfield. And there was a couple times with that Tropics team that we did that, and we were successful. I mean, we were getting beat up on by these boys from Washington at Worlds, and we came out of the 5-man and went with the 4-man outfield. And I think 4 or 5 of the final 6 defensive outs were balls hit back up the middle, and Craig knocked it down. So I think when you have a pitcher that can do that for you, it kind of stretches your defense out, and it makes you even tougher. And then the bats woke up, and we came back and won that game. So I don't, with no disrespect to any other pitcher on that team, if you got Craig on that team, him on the mound gives you a damn good opportunity to win. And again, if you run into trouble, you can come out of that 5-man. You can definitely take away that gap, and he's going to be a 5-man on the mound for you. So just my thoughts, but, I'm not rooting for y'all. Craig, hitter, pitcher for sure. What up, Bailey? Craig coached this weekend. Yeah, well, that works too. Tyler Hickson hit 5 home runs in one effing game. Stupid. Like, I was against him in the outfield, and as he was coming up to the plate, I was holding my hand up, signaling what number he was about to hit, and he would do it. It was one of the more impressive. I don't care where you're playing in a game format. Like, how many times have you seen someone hit 4 in a game, let alone 5? Like, that dude has had a 4 home run game and a 5 home run game, and I've seen both of them. So, damn good. Last time we were missing guys at all-nighter hurt us bad. Yeah, that tends to happen. Jake, will you be recording? I will be doing double duty. I will be coaching with the Chino Tropics, and when they are inside in the AC enjoying themselves, hopefully after a big win, I will be live streaming games. So there will be games live streaming this weekend. Craig Reynolds, can you keep your teeth in? Better pep talk. Casey, I missed softball, the playing part. You never got back to me earlier today, Casey, with what you said you were going to do. R-Dub, missed you this past weekend. Looking forward to seeing you this week. Casey liked that logo for On a Sick One. I liked it. It was better. Yeah, much better. Tropics. JC. Tropics. Tyler. My boys. They all came to see me. All right. I think that this is why I had to come back. Cody, great job with the walk-off at 750 last weekend. I just had to come back, or I had to see about coming back. My son loves those dudes. I love those dudes. I'm very excited. I told Mikey straight up, because I had gotten asked by a couple teams. I thought I was going to get asked by another team, but I never got that message. But I told them I would rather come out and help coach than play on any other team out there this weekend, just because of the comfort that I've already had with these guys, and having had success and wanting to see them have success again. I'm excited. Excited to be there with them this weekend. Should be a good time. Mikey all the way. Okay. I dig it. Dylan is the best D-chip outfielder all around in the state. So, Matt, he has looked really, really good defensively, and those hands, the patience that he has, the ability to work the entire field. He's had some really, really big moments. The growth he has shown is a really, really big factor for this team. There's so many other studs in that lineup, but I think he paces it well at the top, with the ability for 800-900 clip. It's going to be fun to watch this weekend. Vinsanity, yeah, you did a good job. You don't always get everyone put on the roster at the right time, but I think that team I think your boys, you got a really good roster this weekend, so we'll see how that goes. Vince running the show. Absolutely. That is it. 2 hours, 28 minutes long show, but the preview shows tend to be that. Next week, I might do two different shows. I might do the recap of the GSL State Championship tournament of this weekend, and then on a different day, I will do the GSL State 2 preview. Otherwise, that could be a 3 or 4 hour show if I do it all together. This was fun. I appreciate the engagement and everyone popping in and out. Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have some fun. Cactus Yards, GSL Men's C and Men's D State Championship tournaments from Cactus Yards. Tune in here on the on the UTrip GSL live page. I don't know which name I'll be streaming from because I think I'm at the 2 month or the 60-day mark. So I might be able to stream from my actual personal Facebook page, but I kind of like doing it from here because I haven't had as many I don't know. Sometimes on your personal page, like when you post stuff about your kids and your family and all that, you don't always want all of the softball stuff. So I might just stick with where I'm at and stream from here because it's all the same at this point. You'll know how to find me if you want to check it out. But appreciate you guys for tuning in with us today. Good show. Apologies to the umpires. I did not mean to hurt any feelings, but for as good of a job as many of you do, there are some that don't do a great job. And, I'm not really being true to who I'm supposed to be if I don't talk about some of the negative as well. I don't believe our umpires as a whole are terrible. I just believe that there are some games that certain people shouldn't be calling. And I think overall it's going to be better for the product. That being said, we'll see you this weekend. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Congratulations to ATO. Congratulations to Drip. And congratulations to oh my God. I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm sorry. To Jill's team. I forgot y'all name. Sorry. That's very embarrassing. I gotta go. We'll see y'all later.